All right, you magnificent fool, you've done it. You've made the worst financial decision of your life and bought a haunted house. Maybe it was the low price. Maybe you thought the eerie atmosphere would give your Instagram feed a gothic aesthetic. But here you are, with one foot in a nightmare and your wallet crying for help. Well, buckle up, because you're about to get more than just creaky floors and drafty windows. I'm talking blood-curdling screams, poltergeists, actual demons, But hey, it's your mess now, so let's get into it. 20 rules to follow if you don't want to become the next ghost trapped in your house. Stay with me until the end, because I'm saving the most critical tip, the one that could be the difference between life and death, for the very last. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Chapter 1. The Real Estate from Hell. Rule 1. Ask for the history. Sure, that realtor told you the place has a lot of character, but what they didn't mention was that the last guy who lived here went missing. You probably thought a little mystery would be exciting, didn't you? Here's the thing. When the walls start to bleed or you hear chanting in Latin coming from the attic, it's going to feel a lot less exciting and more like a descent into madness. Always ask about the bodies. If they say there weren't any, they're lying.
Trust your instincts. Walk into a room and feel a sudden drop in temperature. That's not just a bad air conditioning system, it's the icy fingers of death crawling up your spine. Trust that feeling, because if you ignore it, the next thing crawling up your spine might be the vengeful spirit of the former owner. Goosebumps, tight chest, racing heart. Yeah, you're not having a panic attack. The house is trying to warn you before it eats you alive.
Chapter 2. When your pets know more than you. Rule 3. Trust your pets, especially a black cat. I don't care if you think your cat is just staring at nothing. Spoiler alert, it's not nothing. Cats see into the spirit realm, probably why they're so grumpy all the time. If your black cat refuses to enter a room or starts hissing at a corner, there's something there, probably a demonic entity.
If your dog starts barking like a maniac at the walls, there's definitely something there. Quick tip: if your pet bolts out of the house, follow. Do not wait to see what they're running from.
Rule 4. Beware the nightmares. Dreaming of someone standing at the end of your bed? Or maybe you wake up to a face hovering just inches from yours, whispering in a language no human should understand. Let me make this clear. This is not just your subconscious telling you to lay off the late-night pizza. It's the spirit letting you know it's getting closer. Nightmares are the first stage. If you ignore them, prepare to meet stage 2, where the nightmares come to life. Chapter 3. Time to meet your new housemate. Rule 5. Try to determine the spirit you're dealing with. Not all spirits are the same. Some are just confused, hanging around because they didn't get the memo that they're dead. Others, they want revenge. And some, well, they're demons wearing human skin. You need to figure out which one it is. Pro tip: if you see a shadow crawling along the ceiling, it's not Casper and you're screwed. Whispers. Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you? Well, neither are you expecting what's coming next from that closet door that just creaked open all by itself. Chapter 4. Creepy bruises, doors, and demonic entities. Rule 6. Don't take bruises lightly. Look, unless you're sleepwalking into the furniture every night, which let's face it isn't the case, those bruises showing up on your body are a bad sign. It means something's been touching you while you sleep. And not in a fun way. What's next? A full-on demonic possession? Probably. Welcome to your new reality. At this point, you should be calling an exorcist. Or if you're feeling brave, asking the ghost nicely to stop. But let's be honest, you're not brave. You bought a haunted house, remember? Rule 7. Let people know what is going on. Yeah, I know, you don't want to sound crazy, but you know what's crazier? Dying alone in a haunted house because you didn't tell anyone that you were seeing shadow people in the hallway. Your friends might laugh at first, but when they hear the screams coming from the attic, they'll stop laughing pretty quick. And if they don't, congratulations, you have terrible friends. Time to move on. Suddenly, a woman's voice screams from the hallway. You weren't expecting that, were you? But hey, you're in a haunted house now. Expect the unexpected, like a door creak or a haunting whisper. Chapter 5. Things are getting worse. Rule 8. Perform a cleansing. At this point, you've accepted that you've made a huge mistake. Time to start cleansing. Light the sage, sprinkle some holy water, and maybe throw in a few Hail Marys for good measure. Walk through every room, especially the ones where you've heard scratching or crying. But remember, this is like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. The spirit might get angry, so if you hear something like "get out" coming from your walls, well, you might want to listen. Rule 9. Perform an exorcism. Cleansing didn't work? Yeah, no surprises there. Time for the big guns. Call in a priest or an exorcist, preferably someone who's done this before and won't get cold feet when the walls start dripping with blood. A botched exorcism is just asking for trouble, and if it goes wrong, congratulations, you've made the spirit 10 times more angry. This is like trying to evict a squatter from hell and they don't plan on leaving. Rule 10. Don't antagonize the spirit. Live harmoniously. It's official. You're stuck with this spirit. You tried kicking it out, but it's really attached to the place. Now what? Well, don't antagonize it. Don't scream at it. Don't challenge it to a fight. Ghosts have feelings too. Spiteful, vindictive feelings. You need to live in harmony. Maybe leave out an offering or two, some incense, candles, or a nice goat sacrifice. Okay, maybe not that last one, yet. Think of it like a really hostile roommate you're too scared to evict. Chapter 6. Because things aren't bad enough. Rule 11. Never go into the basement after midnight. You're probably thinking basements are creepy, sure, but how bad could it be? Let me paint a picture. It's 1 a.m. You're in the basement because, for some reason, you didn't listen to Rule 11. A cold draft sweeps past your neck even though the windows are closed. Suddenly you hear footsteps, but no one is there. The light flickers and you realize the shadows aren't quite right. That's not just a trick of the light. Something is watching you. Rule 12. Leave the antiques alone. Oh, you think that dusty old chair or grandfather clock adds some vintage charm? Wrong. That chair? Haunted. That clock? Haunted. The creepy painting of the woman with hollow eyes? Not just haunted, probably cursed. Leave it alone before you accidentally wake up the spirit attached to it. Trust me, you don't want to meet the last person who sat in that chair. Rule 13. Avoid mirrors at night. You're brushing your teeth before bed when you catch movement in the mirror that isn't yours. You look again, and it's gone. Big mistake. Don't check the mirror. Mirrors are like portals to the spirit world at night. Ever wonder why people used to cover mirrors during wakes? It's because mirrors trap spirits. And if you keep staring, one of them might just decide to stare back. Rule 14. Don't play with the Ouija board. Oh, I know you're thinking it. Let's get the Ouija board out. It'll be fun. No, it won't. It'll be the worst decision of your life. The Ouija board is a spirit hotline, and guess who's picking up the call? Spoiler alert, it's not your friendly neighborhood ghost. It's something much darker, and it's going to hang around for much longer than your lame seance. Chapter 7. When things go from bad to worse. Rule 15. Don't follow the strange noises. You hear it late at night, a soft whisper, or maybe it's footsteps coming from somewhere deep in the house. Don't follow it. That's the house baiting you. Whatever's making that sound doesn't want to give you a hug. It wants to lure you into the darkest, coldest part of the house, where no one can hear you scream. If you follow the noise, don't be surprised if you end up in a part of the house you've never seen before, a part that didn't exist until you went looking for it. And once you're there, don't count on leaving the same way you came in. The house has plans for you. Rule 16. Get used to cold spots. Ever walked into a room and felt like you stepped into a freezer, even though the thermostat says it's 75 degrees? Congratulations, you've just walked through a spirit. Cold spots are a sign that something is right next to you. And the longer you stay in the house, the more these cold spots are going to pop up in the most inconvenient places, like when you're sleeping, or worse, in the shower. Nothing like a ghost watching you scrub-a-dub-dub, right? But here's the catch. The colder the spot, the closer you are to a malevolent presence. When you start seeing your breath in the middle of summer, it's time to get out. Chapter 8. Because you didn't think it could get worse. Rule 17. Do not open that door. There's always that one door in a haunted house. You know the one. It's locked, maybe boarded up, and no matter how many times you tell yourself not to open it, you can't resist. Don't do it. That door is closed for a reason. What's behind it is something the previous owners were smart enough to seal away. Whether it's a cursed object, a portal to hell, or the angry ghost of someone who got trapped in the house decades ago, you're better off leaving it locked. Rule 18. Clocks are not your friend. If the clocks in the house start going haywire, it's game over. Paranormal experts say that spirits can manipulate time. Ever notice how your phone clock reads 3:33 a.m. every time you wake up? Not a coincidence. That's the witching hour, the time when spirits are most active. If your clocks start ticking backward, or worse, stopping completely, you're in deep trouble. Time manipulation is the sign of a powerful entity. If your house is messing with time, you're not dealing with your average ghost. You're dealing with something much worse.
Chapter 9. Desperate times, desperate measures. Rule 19. Don't sleep in the house alone. For the love of all things holy, don't sleep in the house alone. This is when the spirits go from casually knocking over furniture to showing up in your bedroom at 3 a.m., hovering over you like a demonic cloud of doom. You might think having company will save you. Newsflash, it won't. But at least when you're with someone, the ghost might focus on them instead of you. Sleepovers, anyone? Suddenly you hear a creak. Then whispers growing louder. The shadows on the wall stretch toward your bed. It's too late. You're alone and it's coming for you. Chapter 10. When all else fails, run. Rule 20. If all else fails, move out. So you've followed all the rules and you're still seeing shadowy figures in the corners of your room, hearing footsteps at night and waking up to scratches on your skin. Guess what? It's time to go. Pack your bags, get in your car, and never look back. You can't save the house, and you sure as hell can't save yourself if you stay there any longer. The spirit has claimed the house, and you need to get out before it claims you too. Here's the controversial part. Sell it? Yeah, that's right. List it on the market. Don't say a word about the hauntings, unless your state has some weird laws about disclosure. And pass the curse on to the next unsuspecting idiot. Is it immoral? Maybe. But hey, you got into this mess by buying a haunted house, so someone else might as well take a turn. Conclusion. Welcome to your new nightmare. There you have it, 20 rules to help you survive your new life as the proud owner of a haunted house. Will these rules save you? Probably not. You're already too far gone. But maybe, just maybe, if you follow these steps, you'll delay the inevitable, your slow descent into madness, followed by your eventual disappearance into the dark, eerie void that claimed the last owner. And remember, the house doesn't just want to scare you, it wants to own you. It wants you to be part of its twisted, tormented history. So as the lights flicker and the shadows stretch across the walls, remember this. You can run, but the house will always find you. Did you survive the video? Good for you, but you're not safe yet. Make sure to hit subscribe for more horrifying tales of haunted houses, ghost stories, and paranormal survival tips. Hit that notification bell because trust me, you're going to need all the help you can get. And check out the playlist in the top left corner for more ways to survive when the spirits come knocking. Sleep tight, and remember, they're watching. Bonus tip. Don't ever say the spirit's name out loud. You made it this far, so here's the final and most important rule. If you ever figure out the name of the spirit haunting your house, do not, I repeat, do not say it out loud.